The Canton Ventos. My, oh my. Welcome to the official Canton Vento review on the Kpaceguy channel. I'm beyond ecstatic to bring you the review today, as these 7 Canton speakers have been what I would like to call a new step in quality audio performance for me. Let me start off by introducing the starting lineup. In this room is the Vento A26.2, a compact bookshelf speaker, Vento A66.2, the center channel, the impressive Vento A96.2 tower speakers, and the Vento AR800 Dolby Atmos modules. In the future, I plan to expand to a full 7.2.4 system with the bigger A36.2 bookshelves. Even though this is an overall review of the entire system, I'll be referring to the A96.2 towers throughout a lot of this video, since the outstanding performance, build quality, and attention to detail trickle down throughout the line. I want to start out with the build quality and design because it plays a big role in how these speakers reproduce sound. The Canton Ventos have a beautiful, modern look, wrapped in a high gloss, screw-free finish, accented with diamond-cut aluminum rings around the titanium drivers that scream elegance and beg to be listened to. Take note of the curvature, as it's not only sexy in the way that it looks, but also has functionality. The 66-pound speaker's tapered look towards the rear of the cabinet helps significantly reduce cabinet resonance within the speaker, meaning the cabinet doesn't add any extra color to the sound, or take away any. Even the bass, and that's B-A-S-E, of the speaker serves a purpose. Underneath the cabinet is a down-firing port opposed to on the back that allows you to put the speaker closer to the wall if needed, while the base of the speaker helps diffuse port chuffing at high volumes for a distortion-free performance. The combination of cabinet build and speaker driver construction reproduce a powerful and even greater, more detailed sound, especially at their price point. While all the speakers in the lineup share the similar curvature throughout, the A66.2 center and A26.2 bookshelves have ports on the back, while the Atmos modules are sealed enclosures. These speakers want power and take power. 180 watts RMS, 340 watts max power with an efficiency rating of 88.5 dB. What does this mean? It means they will need a good bit of juice to get the most out of them. These aren't speakers you want to power off an AV receiver, and if you're spending this kind of money on a speaker, you shouldn't want to. These tower speakers are rated up to 40,000 Hz and down to a whopping 20 Hz. Now, I'll be honest, when I read this in the spec sheet, I was very skeptical, but I tell you, these speakers can definitely dig down there. Here's a test sweep from 80 Hz down to 10 Hz at moderate volume. With the Canton Ventos having such an extended bass range, it really allows Canton to put in a really good and detailed crossover. This speaker has so much blend to it. There is no lack of cohesion from the top register to the bottom. These are full range speakers in a sense that they can dig down pretty low. I have mine personally crossover down to 40 Hz, and I don't play anything lower than that because at that point, that's where the subwoofer wants to be. But these can really dig low, and you can get away with music and movies without a subwoofer. It won't give you gobs and gobs of output, but it has really good presence anywhere from 25 Hz on upward. These are absolutely impressive. If you guys aren't familiar with my channel, I actually had the Polk Audio LSIM 707s, and if you guys have heard of them or heard them yourselves, you guys know that those speakers are known for crazy amounts of bass, and I kid you not. These speakers being about, I don't know, almost 10 inches shorter, nowhere near as deep or as wide, these speakers, I think, have better bass reproduction than the Polk Audio LSIM's 707s do. They sound absolutely phenomenal. Again, the cohesion, I want to keep emphasizing that the cohesiveness from the mid-range to the bottom range back up to the top range, there's no gap in sound. You know how sometimes when you're listening to something, you have a lot of bass, and as you do a sweep, it kind of goes up and you lose a little bit, and it kind of gets louder and softer, louder and softer. You don't really have any of that with the Cantons other than the room acoustics. The Cantons themselves sound incredibly flat from the top of the register to the bottom of the register, and that crossover is perfectly placed so that you get a nice, sweet sound no matter what you're listening to or no matter what you're watching. The Cantons perform far bigger than that of their size. What I mean is that their sound stage is much bigger than their overall size, especially with musical scores. These speakers are just under 50 inches tall and 21 inches deep, but produce a sound that, with your eyes closed, would fool you to think you're listening to something much, much bigger. What effect does it have on the listener? For one, it opens up the sweet spot in the listening position, and off-axis listening isn't as detrimental to the quality of sound. It also enhances the stereo imaging, which the Cantons have plenty of. The speakers have an incredible sense of depth and realism while maintaining a closer side of a neutral sound. Bass reproduction is jaw-dropping. I was able to watch several 4K Ultra HD Blu-rays with heavy Lfe Bass, and the Cantons were able to reproduce all but the lowest of frequencies without the drivers losing control of the sound or without any audible motor noise as well. I found myself at times checking to see if the subwoofers were on. No Canton review is complete without talking about their ceramic tweeters that all 7 speakers share. Have you ever had a piece of toast and grabbed the butter knife to spread a bit of butter across the bread and it came out nice and smooth before the bite? Yeah? Smooth is exactly the word I want to use to describe the tweeters in this system. Silky smooth. No matter what volume, what material, or what song I played, these tweeters never felt not once harsh or fatiguing. These speakers are rated between 4 and 8 ohms, meaning depending on the material you're listening to and the volumes you reach, they could really be pulling on your amplifier. So if you're looking at the Ventos or any high power speaker, you're going to want an amplifier to match the demands. In my setup, I'm using a Marantz 7705 Pre-Pro as well as a Monoprice Monolith 7x200 at 8 ohm amplifier, with XLR cables bridging the two together, so power, no problem. In my previous videos on the Cantons, we've broken down the overall specs of the drivers and driver size, so if you're interested in general specifications, feel free to refer to my previous Canton videos as well as sound demos. But right now, I want to end this video answering the all-important question: how do they sound? These ceramic tweeters are so pleasing to the ear and are a big reason on why the soundstage is so large. I remember listening to an acoustic guitar and hearing the guitarist physically move his fingertips across the strings, and it sounded more realistic than I ever heard so far. Female voices tend to sit in the higher range, especially the soprano voice, and the resonance these speakers reproduce in a room is simply unmatched. A phrase to explain how good the Ventos sound? They're lifelike. I have more than enjoyed my Canton Vento speakers. These by far are my favorite speakers that I've personally heard and that I've personally owned. And I know there's not a lot of people out there in the United States who are really familiar with Canton, but I'm hoping that I can bring them more to the map in the United States because these speakers are something else. If you guys aren't familiar with Canton, they are a German engineered speaker, and German speakers sound par none, and these are no exception. This isn't the highest line they have. They have the reference series. If you can get your hands on an A45s, they're both above these speakers here, but they share a lot of similarities in the two. And man, I tell you what, I can't believe I've gone this long without at least hearing a Canton speaker. These are the first Canton speakers that I've ever heard, and of course that I've ever owned. And these things are a pleasure to have in this room. I can't wait till I move out of this small apartment and give them the space to breathe, because with the extra space, it will really allow a lot of those frequencies to expand and to be reproduced the way that the Cantons know how. I'm kind of suffocating them ever so slightly in this room because there's not a lot of space in here, but once I get a bigger space, I'll be able to free up the sound, and I'll probably like these 10 times more. It might be like getting a whole new speaker. So guys, this is the Canton Vento review, not just the A96s, but the whole system in general. Just one hell of a system, guys. My favorite system by far, and I will put more videos of these up on the channel. So if you enjoyed the review, if you enjoyed the content, put a comment down below and let me know what you guys think of the Canton Ventos based off of what you've heard from me, and maybe you had some experience with them. Let me know down below what you think of the Canton Ventos. Hit that like button because it took me a long time to make this video, and subscribe if you're not already. We will see you in the next video. Kpaceguy out. Peace.